Hi, I'm Darrell,
And I'm Elia.
and we are Black Nerdy Scholars. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey. It's
How's your
good.
week?
Oh, I've mostly just been grading.
How's
So
that
that's
going?
done. Submitted my grades. I was kind of concerned because I had 5 people send me e-portfolios, which is just a compilation of all their work. And
Mm-hmm.
they're supposed to give me access. And I had like 5 people not give me access. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I was like, because it's the last day. And I haven't talked to any of them since before finals. But everyone
Mm-hmm.
responded with access. So that was good.
Yeah.
Only had to fail one person because they just
Oof.
didn't turn anything in. So
Yeah. Do you get a lot of students that, beg at the end of the semester?
no. I did have one guy 1 quarter just ask if he could get his grade bumped up because
Uh-huh.
he had like a 89. He was like, "Can I have a 90?" And I'm like,
I've had
"Sure,
students ask, it's like, hey, my grade is
it's
just,
fine."
really close. Could you just bump it up? It would be good for me. I'm like, my class is already, not very intensive. Like you're already I've already done you a semester's worth of favors. Like, no, you can get the B minus and that's okay. Um Literally, like, hey, it's a B
depending
minus, can you put it to a B?
depending on how close they are, I might be generous. Like I had someone who had like an 89.72, which doesn't go up to a 90. I'm like, damn, that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of whack. What happened to math? Me, medium,
What happened
low.
to math? I don't know.
Yeah.
I realized I haven't had to do math in a really long time.
Yeah.
I used to be
Since
really good at math.
ooh, I cannot
Yeah.
say the same for myself. I was good at math until the algebra 2 hit. No, it was
Mm-hmm.
trig. That
Really? Yeah, no.
geometry, I lied. Geometry did me in.
When I was really young, I was a math kid. I was
Oh.
not super into literature, despite me having 3 degrees in literature now.
Oh yeah, because originally you were on like a STEM track.
Yeah, yeah. And then I realized I didn't give a shit, and I didn't like it, and I didn't care, and so I stopped.
I
Yeah,
liked biology, and then after that, science just didn't feel as accessible, or not even that. I just
sure.
didn't care to access it. It got too
Yeah,
hard. I'm
I
like, ooh, I
remember.
like to read. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I guess to to make this part valuable, you can always change. I did a big shift, and so now I don't have to do math. Haha. Jokes on you
Haha.
guys.
Yeah.
What
Don't ever be
else?
afraid to shift.
Don't be afraid to shift, children at home or adults at home, more pertinently.
Especially since a lot of the times you're supposed to pick what you're doing at like 18. That's the expectation.
Yeah.
That's a terrible time to pick anything life changing as
Yeah.
a major.
It also just implies the way that I guess our ancestors or just the not ancestors. Well, yes, ancestors, but prior generations. The trick was get a job that has a pension and then
Yeah,
work that job until you retire and then retire with the pension and then you're done. That
we
doesn't
don't
exist
have that.
anymore. We've capitalism's ourselves out of that. Yeah. And now it's just a lot of people there is this Kenny and I are watching Atlanta right now.
Oh, did you finish
And
Insecure?
we're on the last season of Insecure. I'll talk about Insecure really quick. I hadn't seen the final season before because it's a COVID season. Gotta say, we're halfway through it. It's kind of boring.
Damn.
That last season kind of boring, especially since I thought season 3 and 4 were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Now this year's kind of boring. I do think my favorite episode. This might be too specific, especially if people haven't seen Insecure. But the season finale of season 2, if you remember, Insecure is about a character played by Issa Rae that in the show just kind of living in LA. It is not the only
It evolved from a YouTube
comedy of
series,
its
didn't it?
time, but it evolved from a YouTube series. But it kind of was one of the earliest in a string of comedies that were kind of the same, which were what if we do absurdist comedy that's local to a very particular spot that is bound by a specific demographic. You have Insecure, you have Atlanta, you have Reservoir Dogs.
I love
Reservation
that.
Dogs.
Reservation Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs is the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Reservation Dogs is the correct one.
Really love that one.
Yes. There are a bunch of them, and the tens, especially like the back half. We were really in a different racial moment back then.
I
Go
miss
figure.
diversity.
Diversity is canceled. No more DEI. But Insecure was about this woman who like worked in what's the word? She like did after school programs for kids.
Yes,
just
a
kind
young
of going
millennial
through
black
her
woman.
dating life and her friendships living in LA. It was just if we're I guess it's a comedy. It's a kind of sitcom, but it isn't procedural. Using anime terms, and even though I know this isn't anime terms, but it seems like most people use this for anime. It's a slice of life.
Yeah,
It's a slice of life series.
that's basically.
But I
it,
think
you know,
over
anime
here,
term.
that's just a TV show, right? Like no
Yeah,
one's calling Breaking Bad slice of life, but it kind of is, you know.
a crime slice of life.
But the season finale season finale season 2 follows Lawrence, Issa, and Molly separately, and it's like
Oh,
filled with
interesting.
these beautiful long cinematic shots, and the framing in the episode was so like filmic. It felt like a totally different show, and I love it when TV shows, especially like during that era, once a season they would just have one really good one. Like the show could be great, but one of the episodes each season is like weird or
When Euphoria
superb.
was good back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. I still like Euphoria. I still think the first season of Euphoria is valuable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we could just forget season 2. Honestly,
I thought season 2 was mid, and I kind of don't want to watch season 3.
I'm not ready. If
'Cause
it's
I've
gonna
only heard
be
bad
the
stuff.
Cassie, Nate, and Maddie show again,
Well, we know from the trailers Zendaya is still central because I guess she owes
Yeah.
money.
I mean, she owed that lady a ton of money.
Yeah. I remember being on like social media when we were all sitting down and watching Euphoria together, and a lot of people had that exact I guess criticism. It's like, what happened to the lady that we got the drugs from? I guess she waited a couple years and then she came back.
I mean, she was in all that drugs she was pushing or whatever. All them drugs she was pushing, she probably was in no rush to collect immediately. She got other shit to do. But you know what's funny? Because they were showing off some of the posters, which
For you,
one, I'm like,
season
why
3?
do they look like Narcos posters? Like Narcos from its original run. It looks like a crime show poster. But one of my friends was like, why is Sydney Sweetie like at the center of the poster? And I said, how else?
Yeah.
How are they gonna show off her titties and her cooter hat? I'm not even kidding. Like, how is Sam?
Yeah. This this looks like a hold on, let me see if I can share it. Yeah, no, like Peter, get a better picture of this, but like it looks like it's the same kind of floating head poster that you get in like any of the action blockbusters that have been prominent for the last 20 years.
Yes.
Right? It looks
Oh,
like this looks like a
one
Marvel
battle
movie.
after another.
Yeah. Yeah, this is this real?
Yeah.
I mean, it's from
Rotten Tomatoes posted it. I saw Pop
the
Crave
Silver
also
Sleeper
posted it, so you know that's how I know it's real.
Damn. Cat's not in that hoe. Damn. Labyrinth isn't in that hoe no more.
He said, "Fuck Euphoria." Fuck.
What
Did he
could
say
have
fuck?
possibly happened? What could have possibly happened? If anyone hasn't seen Euphoria, it is about kids doing drugs and having sex.
To Labyrinth music.
That's kind of, but very cinematically shot. It kind of what regardless of how you feel about Euphoria, it did define A24's
aesthetic.
niche. Yes. Like you don't get an I Saw the TV Glow. You don't get a Marty Supreme without Euphoria.
I got a
Isn't
really
that
good
weird?
project on I Saw the TV Glow. It was a Choose Your Own Adventure. Just had to point that out. One of my
Wait,
students
what?
submitted. Oh, they submitted this Choose Your Own Adventure based on I Saw the TV Glow. I haven't seen the movie,
Oh.
but from what I
I've
got,
heard
it
it's
was
I've
like,
only heard it's really good. It's on a list.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you go to one part of the adventure leads you to one version of the world, and then one leads you to the other version of the world. But it was really good. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, my student.
I do kind of want to keep talking about Euphoria really quick.
Oh yeah,
We're talking about Euphoria now. For anyone who doesn't remember, Euphoria is about drug addict Rue, played by Zendaya, falling in love with young woman Jules, played by
Gen
Hunter
Z
Shade.
skins.
It's Gen Z skins. It's Gen Z skins. Do the kids remember Skins? They gotta remember Skins because
They
so many
might.
niggas is famous from Skins.
Also, I feel like this youth is having a nostalgia turn to like 2000s TV, which I think is cool.
The Skins cast was cracked. Nicholas Hoult,
Yeah.
Caius Gudalero,
Dev Patel, Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya, Jack O'Connell.
Yeah,
Golly, look at all these hitters.
wild talent for the show.
And honestly,
that it was.
like even okay, I kind of want to talk about it. First of all, Skins has a lot more people, but Euphoria hasn't been the jumping off point for as many actors. Obviously,
As
like I just
Skins
said,
was.
Skin has way more actors, and the industry was different. But like Zendaya's huge. I'm surprised Zendaya hasn't had a dip in her popularity. I do think
She's
sometimes people
maintained
talk
her.
about Zendaya weird.
Oh, for sure.
I think some people
wait,
like.
What do you mean?
I think for a while now, especially after Euphoria, so post COVID, it is understood that Zendaya is very beautiful woman and a talented actress, whether you whatever. But people talk about Zendaya as if she is this like sex symbol, which is fine. Like there have been a lot of people in that position, especially a lot of women, but they talk about it with like a fervor that I don't like. Like I think gorgeous woman, love everything she's done. Right. I'm well, not everything, but I like most of the stuff she's done, and I'm going to see all the movies that are starring her this year, which is a lot. She's in 3 movies with Robert Pattinson
the drama
alone.
stuff. We don't need to pivot.
Wait, no. What's up with the drama?
Well, I got an article referring to a parent being upset with the movie, but I fear if I address why the parent was upset, it seems to be a major spoiler. Like I straight up got a spoiler in the headline.
Oh,
so
then don't tell me. I want to go into the drama. The drama is the first one with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. And then they're both in The Odyssey, and they're both in Dune.
I love how he was just like, "Hey Zendaya, can you get me in Dune?" Now he's in Dune.
Excuse me, Zendaya, Miss Coleman, can you get me in Dune? Yeah.
Why were we talking about Euphoria?
We were talking about Euphoria. Why were we talking about it? Because I like it, ho. Like they were.
I just meant so I could find where we were.
But obviously Jacob Elordi had a big blow up, and then Sydney Sweeney had a big blow up.
Jacob Elordi, is that
you do like Jacob Elordi?
Yeah,
he's all right. He's all right. I see the appeal. He's all right.
Not this.
I thought he was a little miscast in Frankenstein.
Interesting.
I think when I watched Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein and I see the monster, I'm just like,
do you know who he was originally
Jacob
supposed
Elordi.
to be?
Who?
Andrew Garfield.
Really?
Yeah, he had to drop out for some reason.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't picture it, and I don't dare to say one would be better. Euphoria.
Yeah,
okay. Here, let me ask you a question about Euphoria, because I feel like this is gonna be drudged up whenever season 3 happens. how do you feel about media like this that depicts high schoolers in sexual circumstances?
I've always been of the camp that high schoolers have sex. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that they do. They do drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They do wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
I and it seems like a lot of people's response to this is like, why can't you make Euphoria about adults? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, that's not Euphoria, isn't it? You know, they have shows about adults who, you know, do
I
drugs
do
and
think
drink.
there is a fair criticism, which is about like the lack of media like this for that demographic, because around the
Yeah,
same time period as Euphoria's release, there was what, Sex Lives of College Girls,
yeah.
starring Timmy's
Renee
sister.
Rapp.
Renee Rapp was in it.
You said Timmy's sister?
Yeah, I don't remember Timothy Chalamet's sister, but
He has a sister?
he
Wait,
has
no, like
at
his
least
actual
one.
sister?
He has at least Timothy Chalamet
Oh yeah, because isn't she like a ballerina or some shit?
sister, Pauline Chalamet.
Oh, because you know, there's an actress. The one from Stranger Things. They said she looks like Timmy, and I'm like, you know what?
Oh
She
yeah,
actually
no.
does.
Pauline Chalamet is his real life sister. She's like the star of it.
Not Natalie Dyer. Sorry, Natalie Dyer.
Yeah, I don't. They just have sharp
And brown
chins.
hair. It's
Yeah,
curly.
yeah. I don't see it. But like Sex Lives of College Girls, this was already past Grownish.
Yeah.
This was right around the time as there was that one show. It was an HBO show. It only got one season, starring the nigga that was in Detective Peak, Justice Smith.
Yeah, from the Get Down. I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah. What was it called? Justice.
I like
Smith.
him a lot.
I like him a lot too. I think he's great.
Yeah.
What was the show that he was in? I will find this momentarily. Generation.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he got 2 seasons. No, it only got 1 season. Yeah. So there's something like Generation, which is also in high school. Right? So there is a lack of college media just in general.
For sure.
Especially during that time. And so, I mean, I think it's so when it comes to the criticism of like, what if Euphoria, why isn't Euphoria set in college? I think that period that it came out, college was just not hot. A lot of people weren't going to college. It was getting more and more expensive. In general, like college is on a downward trend now anyway, especially amongst like the demographic that is assumed to be the standard white man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. However, I feel the same way you do, where it's like, well, teenagers do have sex and teenagers do drugs and teenagers do get caught in like precarious situations like this, even if this is dramatized and exaggerated. Yeah. And so I get the reaction of being like, this is uncomfortable. This is sexualizing like minors. I don't agree, but instead of like arguing for, let me say then, how do we capture that part of teenage experiences without it being potentially, I don't know, advocating for an underage promiscuity?
Ooh. Kind of hard.
Like, do you know what I mean? Because I am not of the mind that we should just not make media like this anymore. Ooh,
yeah.
right? I get people being squeamish and stuff like that. And if you yourself want to make the decision not to partake,
Yeah,
more power to you.
there's
But
a lot
there's
of.
this, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of manga I don't read because of the fan
Sure.
service involving the underage
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't read it.
Yeah. In like I think that's a good thing to pitch, right? Because I agree with you, and I think that a lot of that shouldn't exist, but it feels different to me. Why? Do you feel the similar
Oh yeah,
difference?
absolutely. Because I feel like with Euphoria, it feels. I feel like I'm able to remove myself and say, okay, these while they're depicting teenagers, I know no teenagers are involved in the making of the show. I know these people are
Mm-hmm.
adults and whatnot. Whereas when I'm like the manga, it's like, okay, these are characters
Yeah.
that are drawn
Like
to be
there's a
teens.
difference between wanting to see this fake 13-year-old that I made naked and wanting to see Sydney Sweeney naked, I guess. And like not to say that one is acceptable, one is not, but there is a fundamental difference.
Yeah.
Right. And I also think when it comes to hiring teenagers, we should be more and more careful with that. Like I don't know how I feel about kid actors in general, because I just don't think
The
kids should
labor
work.
laws just now got some prominence with the children. Like before, there wasn't many rules about how parents could even handle their kids' money and whatnot. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
just now getting like, oh, the parents have to put the money into a trust or a certain amount of the money that they earn. Like this is child labor. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
want a child working at
Yeah.
McDonald's, do you?
Yeah. And
So I
if
think
if you need any reason to, if you have any concerns, what am I trying to say? If you have any doubts about like child labor, just read "I'm Glad My Mom Is Dead" or "I'm Glad My Mom Died." How you
ooh,
pronounce the correct title of Janet McCurdy's book.
read that.
Read
Look
that
into
book.
what's that famous actress? Brooke
Brooke Shields.
Shields. Just read about Brooke Shields.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so like having a real life, actually underage teenager on screen, not cool, especially if they're supposed to be depicting sex. Like really quick tangents, especially since you just brought up Stranger Things. In back when I was watching Stranger Things, which was like season 2 and 3, um at the end of season 2, there is a prom, and a bunch of the kid actors who are then kid actors kiss, including Sadie Sink and Caleb
McLaughlin. I think
McLaughlin.
Law.
We'll say it that way, because I'm sure that's right. And they had Netflix also released a behind the scenes thing that went alongside it. And in it, they talked about how Sadie Sink told them she had never kissed anyone before. And she was like, I'm really glad there's no kiss here. I wouldn't want to do it. And they're like, let's add a kiss just to toy with her. This is funny. Now you have to kiss him because we saw how much it bothered you. And so we're professional bullies. And so now you have
Police
to
help.
kiss.
Police help.
Like, honestly, genuinely. And it's like, that's not cool. That's not cool. Don't do that. And so having actors play in these roles who have a better understanding and a more secured legal support of their consent, it does change it. And yet a large amount of the population will still say, no, this is PDF-philic. And I, in my gut, still go, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
So how do we negotiate that? I think this is just reiterating the actual question. How do we tell stories of teenagehood, a teenagehood that is modern without it being relegated to a specific kind of taboo, if possible. And the crowd goes mild. Because, like, I think my gut is to just say, dude, like, follow a creative vision as long as everyone consents.
Yeah.
And it isn't, like, excuse me. Oh, my God. Did you hear that weird burp?
Because I feel like I'm on the fence because I don't want to say teens shouldn't get to act, you know, because I know even thinking about me as a kid, like, ooh, I want to be an actor, all this shit. Like, a lot of people get their jumping off points when they're in their, like, late teens or early 20s or whatnot. It's just... But I also don't mind Euphoria, where it's a cast full of, you know, people playing teens pushing 30s. Like, is that the best alternative?
Okay,
you know,
I guess I'll say first, yes, that is the best alternative. But I think my line of questioning is from the, like, how do we deal or how do we respond to the audiences that, ooh, what is this? What the fuck? The audiences that see this as, like, inherently derogatory. What is the response to that? How do we argue that something like this isn't inherently derogatory? Because I think I genuinely think the answer is just ignore it.
Yeah, I'm like, these people are very set on how they feel about this kind of media. I don't know if there's like even a happy medium potentially to be reached. It's kind of just like, no, I don't think they're gonna like it either way.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch it, that's cool. But that doesn't mean Euphoria shouldn't have been made per se, you know?
Yeah. And I do think, I know this wasn't the feedback then, but it's definitely the feedback now, or relevant to the feedback now. So much of the youth and the internet has become so puritanical.
We're on a puritanical turn again, which is where a lot of this outrage does come from. Like, I remember there was an uptake in posts I was seeing about people like, why do we always have sex in media? Why is there so much sex everywhere? And this is a repetition because, you know, the shit repeats itself. This is the same shit they were saying when Prince dropped Purple Rain, and the reason they made the explicit content warning for albums and whatnot because of that one president's or somebody's was it like Al Gore's wife or something? I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, we're just seeing a repeat of, you know, the youth is picking up on the puritanical ideals again. And I hate to see it. It seems like maybe it might have shifted again with Gen Alpha, actually. But I was shocked.
I don't know. They're the ones watching Clavicular.
Well, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, but like Clav is like a weird secret. Oh God,
don't worry. Like we can't keep talking about him. I'm so tired of that word leaving my lips. But, I do think, to your point, I think it brings up the wider question when it comes to media in general, and it's like, what is the value of sex scenes in media in general, right? Because it seems like the responses from people that share what you've shared, which is like that response of, why is there sex in this movie? Why can there never be media without this? Specifically, I hate it when they go, it's just not necessary. And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of shit isn't necessary. A lot of shit's not necessary. There's no need to shoot it the way that it shot it. It's not necessary. It was a creative decision. And if you can disagree with the creative decision, but unnecessary isn't a metric that means anything.
That's not really a critique.
Yeah. it's like this is a symptom of the internet, but it is people externalizing inside thoughts, right?
Yeah,
I don't like it. This makes me uncomfortable, as opposed to it's not good. It is uncomfortable.
cause shit, there's ways to talk about things. I think if people started sitting with this discomfort more versus being like, ah, this is unnecessary, maybe they could shit, you could watch something and actually come up with a critique for it.
mhm,
And that might not be, you know, the best critique, but
mhm.
shit, like actually critique things beyond just like, I don't like this. Think
Yeah,
about why you don't, because there are people with jobs off of this.
yeah.
Oh, my sweat stains. But
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And so I do want to interrogate it, right? I do think I want us to look closely, and if you have examples, that'd be great. Uh,
Of sex
w-
scenes.
oh, hold on, that makes it sound bad. I mean,
Oh, I
just
mean, no,
use
for real.
textual support to whatever you say. What positives do tasteful scenes of physical intimacy provide visual media? And I wanted to phrase it that way because sometimes things are gratuitous and they are dissonant with the media that they are in, right? But I just want to say, like, in a film where in the ideal film where it is relevant, what are the benefits to having a scene like that? 'Cause, yeah.
On a very, this is very not critical at all, but I don't know why my brain went Bridgerton, which is, I feel like, are we getting into the being on the verge of gratuitous? But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Bridgerton, romance,
Mm-hmm.
sex goes hand in hand oftentimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it depicts the deepening of the characters' relationships, perhaps.
Yeah.
Um, Hell, even I think for certain dynamics, it could. I don't think you get like a full ass sex scene in Schitt's Creek, but like two characters, main characters hook up or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and that becomes like a plot point, and they're like, oh yeah, actually we should be friends. So a visual might not be necessary, but it people have sex, and sometimes
Yeah.
it leads to things, sometimes it doesn't.
And
I
I
don't know.
do
I think
think
of it, yeah,
I was gonna say I do think the like with Bridgerton as a example, it does capture the ways in which these romantic couples strengthen or dive further into the romance, right?
yes,
Technically, that could be done by cutting to black, technically,
yeah.
right? And so I guess, or I guess what I'm saying is like showing it versus cutting to black. Is this a version of like show don't tell? It is that how it works? Because I think so. I agree. Like I think that's what it does. But I know to a lot of people, the moment skin starts being shown, they like have trouble not flipping the knob in their brain to pornography or taboo, right? Like it's either like, oh, this is hot in a way that is outside of the bounds of it. Now I have
It,
to Google this person and like, you know what I mean? Or it's like
unfortunately,
their brain just shuts off because they don't want to see it because it triggers something in them. Yeah.
honestly, I think this just kind of goes to show how you might not even be someone who's religious per se, or you partake in a particular
Totally.
religion, but the influence of religion
Yeah.
influences us as a society in
Yeah.
ways that aren't necessarily like, oh, I'm at the church with my Bible and shit.
Yeah.
So I
Like
think,
even if we haven't been giving the explicit background,
Yeah.
of like the religious offense towards promiscuity.
Yeah.
We were
That's where it comes
raised in a
from.
society that taught us nude woman equals bad.
Yeah. And that's what it all comes down to. Like
Totally.
that's a societal construct. So these feelings are also part of that societal construct. So honestly,
Yeah.
we just all gotta try to deconstruct our
decolonize your mind.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
look at these titties. See,
it feels nice to enjoy like sex scenes in a non, like not even
in
to
like
get
not
off right
aroused
away.
way, in like an artistic way, right?
Yeah.
If I were to pitch to someone that is like hardcore anti, I think the best thing I would say is like treat it like a fight scene.
Yeah.
Right.
A good fight scene can enhance the movie.
A good fight scene enhances the movie. It's gratuitous, but it demonstrates a thing. Right? To see John Wick kill 80 guys with like a ballpoint pen or whatever, it adds to the movie. However, that movie is like about the action. Well, actually, no, I just caught a thing in my brain. That movie is about the action in a similar way that Bridgerton is like about the sex.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
And I enjoy both.
Yeah. And I think my issue when it comes to both the sex and fight scenes, like using it in fight scenes, my issue is when it's like done distastefully or it's done dissonantly with whatever it is showing. Like I hate a fight scene with hella cuts because to me that signals they didn't have a vision for what this was. And they're stitching together a bunch of takes that may or may not fit together just so they can get through it. And just like in a similar way, like in whatever media you're consuming, if there's like a sex scene that's like, yeah, look at this female body. This is the selling point. It's, oh no, you don't know what you're doing. You didn't have a thing to say about their intercourse. Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt that way about Euphoria season 2.
Yeah.
With a lot of this versus like season 1 Euphoria, just the Sydney Sweeney dominant imagery. I mean, I think it's clear that Sam was really taken with being the cinematography that season. Like he was like, hey, look at me. I'm
Sam Levinson, by the way, if anyone doesn't know what Sam we're referring to.
Oh, yes. Let me say that man's full name. We are not on a first name.
I don't know him.
Yeah. I'm glad
we're not friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this like it once you are studied, or even if you're not studied, the study only gives you the language, but often you have the feeling. I think people can feel when what is being sold to them is the sex.
Yeah.
As opposed to the movie or the TV show or the film or the themes or whatever, right? I think, and like even then, actually, I kind of want to take that back because it's hard to argue that Bridgerton isn't selling the sex. That is a central point. So is there another example, right? Or I guess Euphoria, right? I think.
Because I feel like the thematics maybe. Because with Bridgerton, it's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm signing up for. Not necessarily that you should know what you're well, thematically maybe. Like I'm watching a horror show. I expect some
blood.
Shit.
Yeah,
or something. So like Bridgerton, it's like, okay, this is a bodice ripper. It's about the relationships between each Bridgerton and their respective partners. Kissy, sex, Euphoria. It's like, drugs, sex, teenagers, alcohol, blah, blah, blah. But
I'm old.
Season 2 just did not quite feel like it was like, hey.
So, okay, then would season 2's sex scene specifically feel better if the rest of the season was better written?
I think so, yeah.
Because then it's not a critique of the sex scenes, it's a critique of the writing, which goes back to what we were saying.
Yeah, like if it would have felt maybe if the sex scenes felt more connected with the story, maybe that's the key here.
Yeah.
It kind of just felt like, hey, Sydney Sweeney over flowers.
Yeah.
Boom, flash, titties in my face.
Yeah.
It's
Because
it
like
was like, okay.
like thinking about Sinners,
Yeah. Because there's a little sex in there.
a
There's some
little.
sex.
That movie
Okay, they
was
was
way hornier than I thought it was going to be.
Wait, all the people who were trying to rage bait Haley Steinfeld's husband. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Explain the Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld is the one that played the biracial Mary. And
Yes.
she's also Vi in Arcane and a bunch of other people.
She's
Gwen in the Spider-Verse movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. She's great.
So when Sinners came out, go ahead.
Oh yeah, they were trying to rage bait her husband because if you didn't know the scene where she's like spitting in Stack's mouth, I guess they were actually spitting some. It was like a concoction that was prepared for them to spit into each other's mouth. But yeah,
no way.
Yeah, that was
really
real.
spit something into his mouth.
Yeah, so they were using that to like.
Whoa!
They're trying to rage bait her husband with like that piece of information, like he didn't already know, you know. Like,
and also, like, what are you gonna like if Haley Steinfeld is into spitting into people's mouth? Don't you think she was already spitting into that man's mouth?
I guess they were just saying like, oh, she's
get?
Married and she's spitting in a man's mouth, and I'm like, girl, she's working. The fuck?
She's working. She's at work. and honestly, that's a part of it too, right? The people don't have set scales to the value of this kind of labor, of like of the acting.
Yeah,
I guess. And I don't want to have I do want to be careful with this conversation because I don't want to I hate feeling pretentious about it, even though I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want it to come off as like, oh, you don't understand. The artiste can do whatever she wants. She can spit into anyone's mouth and it's fine because of the art.
I think maybe also it's a lack of information about the process, you know? Because I hear a lot of people who are like, oh, I couldn't see myself just like having intimate scenes with someone, and then we gotta leave and go home and act like it's nothing. It's like, well, no, because you're like on set with all these motherfucking people.
Yeah.
In this, like, I think it's a lot less sexy than you're imagining it. It's sexy because the people come together and make it sexy
because there are like 8 producers. Like there's the PA, there's a bunch of people
intimacy
here.
Coordinator.
There are people in the editing booth that make it sexy. It's not just a camera and these 2 people.
Because I promise that would not be sexy.
Yeah.
If you saw the way it was made, it would be a lot less sexy.
Yeah. And to that point, it's like so many hands go on to texts like this that it's hard to just reduce it to sex scene bad.
Yeah.
And I do want to say too what you just brought up, how like so many people are like, I can't imagine myself doing that. Yeah. You can't. You're not an actor. Just like I can't imagine working at a like, I don't know, oil rig. I don't know what that's like.
I don't know. I can't imagine myself working in the mine.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't imagine myself playing water polo or whatever.
I don't even know what water polo is. I'm not going to hold
I'm pretty sure it's dudes in a swimming pool and women. The woker. And they like throw the ball to each other.
You know what I thought it was as a kid?
Yeah.
I thought they were like riding horses in the water.
Yeah, they're
like,
riding seahorses
shit to each other.
They got to wrangle the seahorse. It's like it's a whole event. You have to find the seahorse like a Pokemon. You have to train it, and you have to ride it to victory.
Fun. I would have played water polo. I mean, I probably wouldn't because it sounds expensive and a primarily white sport. But you know what?
And I do think to the point of like, I think intimacy in general is really scary. And even without the ingrained fear of physical intimacy from our like Judeo-Christian origins, I guess, it's hard to simply give in to another person There's a lot of
Yeah.
hangups when it comes to trust. And so when people see these scenes, it reminds them of that feeling, which I would argue is the point. But a lot of people are so averse to feeling that. And this idea of like, well, I that couldn't be me. I couldn't understand it. That's the case for most movies. Not every movie is relatable, right? We can't relate. Like, we have no idea what it was like in like post-bellum war era.
I
Yeah,
cannot relate to Scarface. Not in the slightest.
yeah.
Nope.
But we watch it because of all the other stuff attached to it.
Yeah.
And the question I was going to ask, it was like, why is it sex specifically? Well, not specifically, but particularly that gets singled out. And it's that intimacy thing. There's a risk.
A shame.
There's a shame. Yeah. And then, yeah, say your thing.
Or no, because I was even thinking of a conversation I had earlier, completely unrelated to this, but my friend was like, yeah, where people think of like hatred, I think shame is a better way to describe how people regard it. It's like a fear-based shame.
Yeah. I think shame needs to be. I was gonna say shame needs to enter our lexicon more, but I do think asterisks, because people do talk about shame, but they talk about it in weird ways. Like, people will be like, bring back shame.
It's like,
they're like, oh, you shouldn't be sharing these things online. Bring back shame. And to that, I say yes to the first part. Some things you should not share online just because it doesn't help you. But bring back shame is like, I wish you felt towards yourself what I feel towards you enough to make you not show it to me, which is not what I'm asking for.
Also, and not to bring it back, but where do we think this shame is coming from? This Judeo-Christian,
a lot of the shame people have about intimacy, hookup culture, which is like not real, I guess. A lot of it stems from the way you were educated. Even if you weren't raised religious, you were trained to have these ideas about sex. And if you like them, whatever. If you like feeling that way about it, you can do that.
It's probably more fun if you don't, though.
Yeah. I encourage you to decolonize your. I know I did a bit earlier, but genuinely decolonize your mind. Sex does not need to be anything.
It could be neutral.
I think in my perfect world, it is neutral. But I get that I'm not everyone, and that's okay. And I do think connecting it back to Euphoria, that added layer of teenagehood, which is like the most shame, this root of shame. I think that's why it feels so acute when it comes to Euphoria. It's like, there shouldn't be sex anyway because of the shame I bear. And then also, I bear that shame because of shit that happened to me when I was 16.
Absolutely.
And so I think, like, let me ask one more question. Do texts like Euphoria challenge that Judeo-Christian, like, Western philosophy or shamefulness towards sex and sexuality? Does it challenge it? Because my gut says no. I think it still fits within it. It's just showing you a part, or it's just showing us a part that triggers specific feeling. But a lot of them are just as ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Still, there's very little, at least in Euphoria specifically, there's very little like, open your mind, sex is a neutral thing. It is still very much, no. This is a power dynamic that we're engaging in. And even though we're teenagers and are not supposed to do it, we're playing the game that the adults taught us. Yeah.
See, I think it could have the potential, perhaps, because I do think the way they engage with sex is a reality of how, these teens, they're conditioned the same way um their parents were, and past that or whatever. I think in season 3, since they are older now, I think it would be cool to see maybe if there's some like developments in how they regard sex and their interpersonal relationships. Do I think Sam Levinson will do that?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. The little Jesus saves sign in the I'm like, what is my girl gonna be, like a mega church, a pastor or some
Uh-huh.
shit?
Well, she
But
did her
I
rehab in a church in the first season.
oh, rooted.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
there,
but
and
honestly,
also, like, I mean, Black American, there is
oh, for sure, yeah,
a certain association to the church that
of
is
the
hard to
church.
ignore.
I think it would be cool if he, because that's a true reality. Am I doubtful of Sam Levinson?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he peaked immediately, and then everything he's done since has been whack.
Yeah,
Bummer,
I
but
think it could.
them's the
It'll
breaks.
probably. I think it could be better than season 2, which isn't really saying much. But
Mm-hmm. There is one thing I wanted to add to that point about, like, deconstructing that shame. There is this
Mhm.
movie called The To-Do List, starring Aubrey Plaza and
Oh,
like Johnny
I like
Simmons and
her.
stuff like that. The movie, if I've only seen this once, but the ending stuck with me because I hadn't seen anything like it. The movie itself is kind of mid. It's not a masterpiece.
Oh, it has that
It's a
guy,
movie. It's a movie.
Bill Hader. Is that
Bill
his
Hader's
name?
in it. Yeah. But the To-Do List is about this girl graduating high school in like the 90s, and she realizes how much sex she missed out on, and then tries to hook up with as many guys as possible before she graduates, or something like that. And by the end, she only hooks up like one dude. And it's like this guy that really liked her. I think I'm misremembering this. This isn't the important part. They meet back up in college after having like lost their virginities to each other, and they're like debriefing kind of their time, like from like a few months ago. And they're like, yeah, I don't know, it sex is weird. It's like really important because of these things, but it's also not. It's also like not important at all. Yeah, it is both really important and also not important at all. And I was like, yeah, that
Yeah,
resonated with me. 2013, I was just out of high school. I was
yeah.
almost
Because
an adult.
I was concerned about the turn of this movie, because I felt like there was a potential messaging that could have. I assumed it was going to be put in there, which is like,
Hmm.
you don't need to hook up with people.
Yeah, which
Just
I do think is the standard, right? Where it's like,
yeah,
hey, like there, I, good that a lot of media is like, hey, no pressure. No one can
yeah,
force you to do this. Do not do it because someone else
yeah.
wants you to do it. It is
It's
yours. Hold on to it.
yeah. Especially as someone who I think I can relate to, coming up in high school and not having any like sexual experience in high school and
Mm-hmm.
feeling as if I missed out on something. So I do think having that kind of media representation is nice to see. Like, hell, I wish I would have seen something like that in my teenage years or something.
Mm-hmm. I I kind of had the opposite with my with my teenage years, because like
Yeah.
I was getting into I was getting into shit. And like, do you remember, assuming they did, your parents having like the talk with you? Not the
My mom
black
showed me
being black
Oprah,
and okay. The
the
sex
Oprah
talk, the
sex
birds and the
episode.
bees. Okay. Okay. I had I had two the talks of birds and bees talks with my parents. And I remember them both vividly because neither of them were very good. Shout out my mom. I know you watch this sometimes. Um But I remember one was when I was really young, or not really young. I was in middle school. I wasn't really young, but I was maybe 12 or 13. Like definitely just before you might be having sex age. And my stepdad and my mom, but he did the talking, pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, do you have wet dreams?" And I was like, "Yeah." The answer was no. The answer was no, I didn't. But I didn't really understand what that meant. I thought that means like, "Have you ever peed the bed?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've
You
peed the
got
bed
this?
before. Of course, I'm a person. I've done that." And they were like, and he was like, "What did you think about? What were you dreaming about when you had that dream?" And I was like, "I don't know, probably Spider-Man." I don't know. I have no idea. And I think there was more to that conversation, but that's the part I remember, and I don't remember anything else. Years go by. I definitely start like having. I started dating. I was dating people like other peers at that time. And the second talk was I was with my mother, and she was like, "Hey, you use condoms, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Good, good." And that was the second talk. And so
Pretty
I was
effective.
in like, this is also on top of like, I watched a lot of movies as a kid. And so I was watching adult scenes with my parents younger than maybe a lot of people would think. And I don't want to say this is good or bad. I was fine with it. I think it turned out really good because from my point of view, like from very young, it's always been like this whatever thing. It is a thing people do sometimes. And I always felt weird that I was the only one that saw I was one of the few people that saw it that way.
It's more freeing that way.
It is more freeing. You can just be
I had
chill.
to unlearn a lot of shit
Unlearn a lot of shit.
from
Yeah.
a religious sort of like sex shamey sort of vibe, you know.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's all in your head, man.
Yeah.
It might be in other people's heads, but you can only control your own
You
head.
can only control your own
so
head. Yeah. Clear your head,
control it.
decolonize your mind, get rid of that shame, watch the first season of Euphoria and nothing else.
Watch The Wire.
And watch The Wire. Yeah. Until then, hey Leo, where can they find us?
You can find us on any place that has podcasts available, as well as on YouTube. I kind of give up on Blue Sky, so I won't even plug that no more.
Okay.
And Patreon.
And Patreon. On Patreon, for $5 a month, you can get access to Office Hours, our pod after the pod. It's just an extra show where we hang out a little bit longer. We're a little looser, a little riskier, consume a little legal substance, just have a good time. If you can afford it, send it our way. And to whet the appetite, I'll give a little teaser right here.
I had a crush on a bald man for the first time.
It was
a long-term crush. I remember one time I was hanging out with my friend we have different tastes.
Yeah.
But I like made out with this guy at this bar, and she was like, "What are you doing? He's a nerd." And I'm like, "Bro, what is this, like a 2000s high school movie?" Like, okay, I like nerds, bitch.
Come on through if you can afford it. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. And until we see you guys next, stay black, stay nerdy, and read books.
Please read books.
Please read books. I started reading a book called Dominion.
Oh, what are you reading?
By Aldi Kitchens.
Wait, what's it called?
Dominion.
Oh,
Yeah,
never heard of it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty short. It's about like the first lady of a church.
Ooh.
And a teenage daughter dating that woman's son.
Oh, I like church drama. Let me look that shit up.